Have you ever looked at your Peloton bike and thought, this is great hardware, but I wish I could do more with it? What if I told you you could unlock its full potential and connect it to a world of new apps using nothing but your Wi-Fi connection? No cables, no complicated hardware. With a simple project I'm about to show you called OpenPelo, you can easily sideload applications that run directly on your Peloton screen. You'll be able to manage your SmartSpin2k and work out with Intervals.ICU, broadcast your power and cadence with Grupetto, or watch any video you want with SkyTube. You can even browse the web with Firefox. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Let's get started. Another OpenPelo video. I've added Wi-Fi to OpenPelo here recently, so I figured this required a whole new video on how to set it up. It's honestly quite a bit easier, but we've also found some new techniques along the way. I'm going to be doing it on a Mac today because honestly that's the harder of the two setups just because of how the security works with the Mac. On Windows, it's pretty easy. First, all that you need to do, open up your web browser here, and we'll go to http://github.com/doudar/openpelo. OpenPelo. Hit enter, and this will bring up the OpenPelo repository. We're going to go here to releases, click the newest release, and I am on a ARM Mac, so we'll download the ARM Mac. If you're on an Intel Mac, you've got that, and then if you're on a Windows machine, you'll grab the .exe. So we'll download this, we'll download it into downloads, and we'll open this up here and extract it, and there it is. It just extracted it right to our download folder. So then I hit double click and it says it's not opened because they couldn't verify it. So we'll just hit done here. And then what we need to do for the Mac is go into system settings and then scroll down to privacy and security. And if we keep going down here, you can see under security, OpenPelo was blocked to protect your Mac. So open anyway. And then we get this window again, just click open anyway. And then let's see here, my touch worked, so finger worked great. So now we have OpenPelo installed on the Mac and that's running. Go over here to the Peloton bike. And this Peloton hasn't been reset to defaults yet. So what we need to do here is click down here in the corner. It's behind my handlebars, so that's always tough. And then we'll go to System and Factory Reset and Reset Tablet. Erase everything. This typically doesn't take too long to erase and reboot, but it might be a couple of minutes. All right, Peloton is rebooted here and it's going through its thing. As soon as it comes up with select your language, this is the first screen that you'll see. We'll pick English, and then once this screen is up, we're just gonna skip Wi-Fi setup for now. And we go straight into settings and device settings, system, about tablet, and then you'll see a bunch of information here. We go to where it says build number, and you're just going to tap on build number. I think it's 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you are now a developer. That's what we want to see. So now we can go back and back again since we know that we have developer mode, we're going to be using a Wi-Fi connection to upload our programs. So we'll go to Wi-Fi and I'll enter in my Wi-Fi information here. All right, and then I'm going to hit connect. And it shows that we're connected. So then we'll go back and back again, and now go back into our system settings here, and then developer options. Once we're in developer options, there are only a couple of things that we need to do in here. We need to turn on the wireless debugging. And for now, we're going to leave USB debugging off. When you get this pop-up, always allow on this network, yes, we want to always allow. You know that there's another sub-menu here because we have a little line. To get to that menu, you actually tap directly on the text here. And now we have our pairing screen that shows our information that we're going to need. If you're unfamiliar with how IP addresses work, the IP address itself is the 192.168.1.172. The port is 36249 on this. Just remember, the port is after the colon and the IP address is everything before the colon. You're going to need to know that to enter the information into OpenPelo. So we're going to be pairing with code. So if we click on this, it generates a Wi-Fi pairing code. And then notice we have another IP address and port. And the thing that's important to remember here is this port is different from this port. So we're going to need to enter in both of these ports because this port here is only for pairing and this port is actually for the connection that we're going to be enabling. So now if we go back over to OpenPelo and select connect via Wi-Fi, this guide guides us through all of the steps that we've done up to this point. So then we'll go up here to our last step. And our pairing code is this right at the top. So 089134. Our IP address is 192.168.1.172. Yours is probably going to be different. And then these other two ports, they change pretty much every time. So 33443. And the port from the wireless debugging screen, so that's this one. So that's 36249. And now when we hit connect, that menu went away, so we know that the pairing was successful. And then we get this pop-up on OpenPelo right here that says the connection was successful. Okay, and now what's important is to hit this refresh button and then you'll see the device is connected. Right now I don't have this status message being updated constantly because it would require commands to be running in the background, and it's just cleaner and easier if we just have the user hit the refresh button. If you hit refresh and it says that it's not connected, that means it's not connected. Now we have some available apps here. SmartSpin2k, which is the configuration app for SmartSpin2k, is a device that basically turns any spin bike into a smart trainer. It's pretty cool. Grupetto will take the data from any Peloton and broadcast it wirelessly as well as overlay it on the screen. The neat thing there is you don't even need to be in a Peloton workout for it to work. Nova Launcher is kind of like your Windows desktop. It's what you're actually going to use to interface and launch apps with. Firefox Focus is a web browser you'll want. The Aurora Store is basically like the Google Play Store. We can't run the back-end services for Google Play on the Peloton. This is a workaround to get a good app store with a familiar interface for you. Moonlight Streaming is an app that lets you display your computer desktop on the Peloton screen. And why that's important is that way if you have apps that won't run directly on the Peloton screen, then you can run them on your desktop and interact with them and use them on the Peloton screen. So that works great for things like Zwift and MyWhoosh that won't run natively on the screen, but when you have Moonlight set up, you'd never know that it wasn't running directly on the screen. Material Files is a file manager. If you want to load other programs directly, like through Firefox, if you wanted to download something from Firefox, Material Files helps you organize any of those files, and it will let you install them and other things. Emby, I don't know much about. I know that it's a media server. Some users had requested it. So it's kind of like Plex, if you've heard of Plex. And then SkyTube, which I like. SkyTube is a YouTube client. You can watch anything YouTube on the Peloton, and it's great. All right, so we have all of those selected. Now we're going to hit Install Selected Apps. And good, we got error installing SmartSpin2k. All the rest of these are going to error out. So this is what I really wanted to show. We'll go through and let all of these error out, and then I'll show you what the issue is. They all errored out, and that's yet. This is a known Android bug, and it's frustrating. It's something that you're going to just have to play with. And the way that you get it working and not working, we can try turning on USB debugging. Sometimes that alone will do it. And just so that we don't have to click through all of these every time, I'm just going to deselect everything except for SmartSpin2k. So we'll hit Install Selected App, still get the error. All right, so we'll turn these off. Wait a second, turn both of these options back on. We'll turn them off again, and then turn them back on. All right, and now let's try again. Error installing. All right, we'll try just this one. Error installing. Error installing. We are paired. There we go. So that last going back into here fixed it. So now that we know that everything's connected, now what we'll do, I'll uncheck SmartSpin2k. Sometimes that doesn't like to install over itself via ADB. And we'll go back through and install the programs that we want. All right, so now install selected apps, and this will work for a second here. Shouldn't take very long. That connection issue, it seems to be a little more pronounced over Wi-Fi. It's still there with the traditional USB connection method as well. It's really frustrating. There's nothing that we can do about it on the OpenPelo end. It's a bug that's in Android itself. But I'm glad that I was able to actually get it to happen here. Sometimes you'll see it, sometimes you won't see it. It's really just the luck of the draw. The other thing that you can do if you absolutely can't get it to work is go through another factory reset, but it seems like doing that is rolling the dice just as much as turning this on and off through these menus. All right, so now we have everything installed, and we're ready to just do some basic setup on the Peloton. So let's hit the Peloton button. And you see now we get a completely new menu here. We have an option for Nova Launcher. So yes, we want to use Nova Launcher. All right. And then you can click skip setup or get started. I don't know if there's much of a difference unless you actually want to change some of these settings yourself. But I'll just skip through here so you can see what some of the options are. And then we'll just hit go home. All right, so we're back to this screen. We can still skip this, just swipe up to get the Peloton menu again. And now when you press this, now a Nova launcher is at the top here, and select Always. All right, so now we actually have our Nova launcher screen. In order to customize this a little bit, so it's a little more convenient, what I like to do, we'll grab Firefox Focus and you just drag it up to get to this main screen. All right, and then you can hit the Peloton button again, and we'll grab Aurora Store, bring that up. And what else do we have? We have Grupetto. We'll bring that up. And let's grab SmartSpin2k. We've got that. All right, and then the last one that we want is SkyTube. Grab that guy, put it in there. All right, cool. So we're pretty well set up. Now, whenever you want to come back to this menu, you can always just hit this from any screen. So like if we're in SmartSpin2k, and we can hit scan. Oh, so for SmartSpin2k, to set it up, you need to allow the Bluetooth. We can hit connect, and here we are in SmartSpin2k. So then once we're in SmartSpin2k, to get back out, if you click the Peloton button, you'll go back. If we want to go into Firefox, we'll just click Get Started, and we can go to, let's see here, we'll just go YouTube. Let's go SmartSpin2k. All right, so we can watch the Imad's video here. So even from the browser window, it's perfectly serviceable here. So that works great. And to get out of YouTube, we can just click, or out of the browser, we can click the Peloton button. Grupetto, that's really neat if you want to use it. This is what will overlay your stats at any time, as well as broadcast your data. So we need to allow device location because that's for Bluetooth. And then it also needs overlay permission. So in order to do the overlay permissions, you can see Peloton's allowed. I'm going to turn that off because I don't need Peloton over the top of anything. And then Grupetto, I'm going to turn on Grupetto. And then we just back out a couple of times. It'll bring us back to Grupetto. And the only thing that you need to do here, we want to use the Bluetooth and then click here to start the overlay. So now we have the Grupetto overlay. And if we pedal a little bit, you'll see we have power and cadence, and it shows what the resistance is. Then if we go into SmartSpin2k and we'll hit connect, we can also shrink Grupetto like that. We'll go into settings on SmartSpin2k and scan. We'll take that just a second to connect. And now we get our RPM and watts in the SmartSpin2k, and it's doing its little homing cycle. And then with the shifter buttons, which are just out of the frame here, I can shift the Peloton, and you see the Peloton resistance is changing down here. And then that's the SmartSpin2k gear that it's in. So we can also use these buttons to shift SmartSpin2k. With SmartSpin2k, we can also do workouts, and it's integrated with Intervals.ICU now, so you can easily import and export workouts through Intervals.ICU. As well as perform the workouts directly on the SmartSpin2k. All right, what else do we have on here? The other neat thing is SkyTube. So, okay. So with SkyTube, it's just an interface for YouTube, and what's neat about it, and we'll search for cycling. All right, so let's pull up this quick thing here from Flow Bikes. And there you have it. In just a few simple steps, your Peloton bike is unlocked and ready for a world of new applications. You now have the freedom to browse the web, watch videos, and connect to amazing software like the SmartSpin2k app and Grupetto and all of the other apps like Zwift and MyWhoosh. For all the detailed instructions and links to the files you'll need, head over to the OpenPelo project on GitHub. I've put a direct link in the video description below. If you've found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more updates on this project and all the other open source projects that I have going on. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to help out.